afternoon and welcome back to the Save Time, Save Money STSM Chat Hangout Recap. Today I am joined by Emily Hodge from Uncommon Goods, and we are talking about Mother's Day gifts ideas because, hey folks, that's this weekend.
Yes, it's this weekend.
Emily, what all do you do at Uncommon Goods? I see it, Tell us a little bit about you and what you do first.
So I know my name is a little tricky as my title, Community Outreach Associate. A lot of people don't really know what that entails. Basically, I work in PR. I help place our products into magazines, and I also work with social media, and I organize our design challenges, which we ask for emerging artists such as people who make jewelry and art and things of that sort to turn in their products, and we organize that. And I work for uncommongoods.com, and we're a retail site that specializes in handmade products and sustainable products as well.
Very cool. So we're talking about Mother's Day. We had several questions for you. Give me just a second. I want to go back to my list of questions so that I stay on track here with our discussion. And here I thought I had them, and I didn't. Ha 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 ha. Oh, where'd they go? There they are. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you about, because we conducted a poll as part of a whole bunch of Mother's Day stuff we were doing, and we asked moms what was it they really wanted. Did they want flowers? Did they want dinner out? Did they want jewelry? What was it that mothers wanted for Mother's Day this year? And overwhelmingly, the response that came back was that they just wanted to spend quality time with their families. And so that was why I wanted to ask you first, what kinds of tips, ideas, what would you suggest that we do since Mom just wants to hang out?
Yeah, I'm actually not surprised with that result, especially because my mom, anytime Mother's Day rolls around, she definitely wants to spend time with my sister and I and my father. And a lot of people think that, you can throw mom into a spa or throw mom into a dinner night with her girlfriends, and actually she just wants to spend time with her family. So to make it memorable, I would say to just take a step back and see what type of category does your mom fall in. There's so many different types of moms. There's the stay-at-home moms, there's the career moms, there's the crafty moms, there's the sporty moms, the mom that gardens. So I think you need to take a step back and just look at who your mom is, and she can maybe have a few of those titles. And so, for example, if it's a sporty mom, you can take her out to something that she usually wouldn't do, like canoeing or riding on a tandem or go-kart riding, things of that sort. If she is the type of mom that likes to be creative, I would maybe sign her up for an art class or go do a pottery class with her. So I think just going ahead and just putting an extra special touch to that, and you're letting your mom know that, hey, I remember who you are, what your hobbies are, instead of just remembering what all the advertisement is telling you what to give to your mom.
Very cool. Hint, hint, children. I did have a blast last summer playing miniature golf with you guys. You might want to consider that one.
Yes, miniature golf would be amazing, actually.
Very cool. That gives us something to think about. What would you recommend as far as inexpensive and hopefully not too messy craft projects for kids? And the reason why I asked it that way is because most likely if you've got little kids and that's kind of the route you're going, most likely it's going to be dad or grandma or a teacher or somebody other than mom handling the craft project, and well, the less mess probably the best in this case.
Exactly. I mean, when it comes to arts and crafts, I think that we usually use glitter, glue, things of that sort. That gets really messy. Paint. I would stay away from that. And instead of glue, I would use tape. And if you want to use really special tape, I would use decorative tape or washi tape, just to make it extra special. Construction paper as well. And with that, you can make so many different things. You can design a crown out of paper plates. You can make flower, cut petals to make a flower, and on each petal you can tell your mom why you love her and why she's special. But I think the key thing is just to keep it clean and to just stay away from that glitter.
Right. And you know what? At the end of the day, there's absolutely nothing wrong with construction paper and markers and a homemade card, right?
Exactly. I mean, they're classics for a reason.
Sweet. Oh, I wanted to point out something because if we're going to talk about something that isn't necessarily messy, I had spotted a YouTube video on how to fold an origami lily. I thought, that's really great, especially for slightly older kids that have that type of concentration. That's a great idea. There's no glue, there's no paint, it's just folded paper. I thought that is so smart as far as a crafty idea that, keeps the kids occupied and keeps the mess down to a minimum.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. I want to do that myself. That's really cool. Yeah.
We'll make sure and link back to the how-to for that particular video for you then.
Thanks.
Let's see. Next question was, how can we pamper mom without breaking the bank? I mean, there's lots of products out on the market for like spa treatments and facials and all that kind of stuff, but I know a lot of our audience is definitely conscious of how much they're spending, and especially if you've got to do gifts for not only mom, but grandma and sisters-in-law and all that other kind of stuff. We want to watch what we're spending.
Yeah, definitely. I think that if you are planning something special for your mom, there's a balance. So if you're going to have this gourmet dinner for her later on that evening, during the day, you can do a at-home spa for her. There's so many things in our kitchen cabinets or are in our house already that we can use where we don't have to buy fancy products. We can use coconut oil, we can use olive oil, you can already even maybe go into her bathroom and take out the products that she's bought over the past months but she never uses, and you can draw her a hot bath, and for dads out there, they can put the rose petals in there just for extra brownie points and things of that sort. If you are going to take her to an expensive day spa, then I would suggest probably cooking a meal for her later that night, making sure that all her favorites are being cooked. But just remember, if you're going to cook for her, that you have to do the dishes. I think the #1 rule is to make sure mom does not lift a finger all day.
Right, right. Well, in the vein of pampering, there's a lot of things that maybe people don't necessarily think of right off the top of her head. I mean, for me, for somebody to like do a quick little foot soak and a foot massage, oh my gosh, that would be just wonderful. And there's no expense in that. That's a quick wash of the feet and just doing something nice for mom. My daughters in particular are very artistic. They all draw. So why not get out all of the nail polish and do a really special manicure for mom if you've got that kind of skill?
Definitely. And I also think that pampering doesn't need to equal to spa or makeup or massages. I think that pampering can also just mean giving mom just time to herself for a moment. If you already have quality time scheduled out for the day, I think that a lot of moms, especially stay-at-home moms, do love to just have that moment to herself. So if you can just give her, a book to read on the side and just give her about 2 hours while she's soaking her feet or while she's taking a bath, things like that, I think would be awesome for her.
Cool. All right. I have to touch on the cliche because there are actually a lot of moms that really do like cards and flowers, and I have to admit I'm kind of guilty of that because I really do love fresh flowers. What can we do to make that special?
Yeah, I am guilty of that too. I think that cards and flowers is such a cliche, but at the same time, a lot of people still don't do it. So when you do receive it, it's super special. I think that if you want to give your mom a card to make it extra special, you can add a photo to it, or you can picture frame the card, or you can write a handwritten note and picture frame that. You can place inside jokes along with it, or you can write on the actual picture frame. For flowers, you can obviously get her favorite flowers, spice it up a bit with a few other colors, but place it inside of a really cool vase, a really funky vase that you can find online or at a nearby store. And I think that will give it the pizzazz instead of having it in the usual paper bouquet.
Right. And if you're willing to take the extra moment to do the flower arrangement yourself, obviously there are some ways to save some money over having it delivered by a florist and all that kind of stuff. Um, I wanted to point out one of the cool things I saw. I want to say it was on Pinterest. I'm pretty sure it was this idea of a mother's journal. If keeping cards and maybe buying cards is a little too impersonal, this idea was get a blank journal, but this is not one that mom fills out herself. Every year, dad and the kids write, draw, whatever, on a new page of the journal so that each year it's filled with artwork and pictures and notes from the family. And I could see how that would very quickly become a very special keepsake to mom.
Yes, and I love that idea. I think it's a special keepsake. I think that another thing about it is that dad doesn't really have to think twice. He can just grab the book and write in it. Also, this is something that can be passed down, and I think that's what's the most special and uncommon thing about that type of gift. So I'm definitely on board with that.
Cool. What would you recommend for other thrifty handmade gifts? And in this, I'm talking more about older children, adults doing things for like somebody like me doing something for my mom, kind of thing. Where, all right, we've got some time, we've got some skill. This isn't the little kid craft thing. This is something for the grown-ups doing something handmade.
Yes, one of my favorite things I found on Pinterest myself is the whole get a mug. It's blank. It can be any color. Usually white's probably the best color. And you take any color permanent marker and you write on it. It can be a special message. It can be sentimental. It can say number one mom. It can be an inside joke. And you put the oven to 350 degrees. You place the mug inside for 20 minutes, and then you let it cool off for 20 minutes, and you take it out, and it's permanently written on that mug. And you can also do this to other dishware. So you can put it on plates and bowls, and you can actually make her a whole gift set if you'd like. So I think that would be really great. It's also dishwasher safe and also safe to eat on or drink out of.
Oh, cool. Hey, I'm a coffee addict, so that's one idea that would definitely be a good one for me.
And I think if you want to add another extra touch to it, if your mom is really into gardening, or maybe even if she's not and she needs some plants in her life, you can put plants inside of it. You can put succulents. You can plant that in there, and I think that'll give it another added touch if she's not a coffee addict. And if she is a coffee addict, you can put coffee beans inside.
Cool. I'm glad that you brought up plants because talking about fresh flowers and stuff like that on the Twitter chat earlier got me thinking. We've just recently moved into a new house. I'm dying to put plants in the ground. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized, you know what? Getting a plant or something that I'm going to put in the garden that's going to live year after year after year, like a rose bush, not only do I get the benefit of a really nice plant in my yard, but every time I look at that, I'm going to think back to the Mother's Day that was given to me. There's going to be an association with, the thought and the sentimentality of when that plant was given to me. And so it's something that I'd enjoy over and over again. So that might be something you want to consider if mom has a yard and
Yeah,
loves to garden.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's what the best gifts are. I think the best gifts are something that you can share on Mother's Day, but also you can share after Mother's Day, for months on end, for years on end. I think those are the best gifts, not just something that you can just have during the day. Although having sweets and cakes is pretty awesome too to have during Mother's Day.
Totally agree with you. One of the other things I wanted to ask, and we've kind of hit on it a little bit here and there, but Mother's Day, most people aren't just doing something for their mom, but in the case of, dads, they're doing something not only for their mom if they're still living, but they might be doing something for their wife or their sister or other mothers in their lives that are doing great things with their own kids, but that relationship is not a direct mother to child relationship.
Yes, I definitely think a lot of the ideas we spoke about earlier are great ideas for any moms. It can be for your mom, it can be for your sister, it can be for your grandmother. I think any of the ideas that we touched on, it can definitely work. But for me, I think that if you're really not sure, you really have no ideas, I feel that photos, you cannot go wrong with that. If you have a photo with that person and their children, that would work out perfectly as well. And also a handwritten note, a homemade card would be great. You don't have to go off and buy products or buy a gift certificate for this person. I think that you can just do all of this at home.
Right. Well, and you know what? In this technological day and age, what we're doing right now could actually make for a great Mother's Day gift, especially if you live really far away from your mom or whatever, and maybe you can't be with them on Mother's Day. Maybe try a Hangout or record an Instagram video or a Vine or do something digitally creative that you can share immediately with your mom, right?
Definitely. I actually did something like that similar, not for my mother, but for my best friend's birthday. I asked 20 of her closest friends and family members to send me a message via video, and I linked all the videos together, and I showed it to her at a bar, and she loved it. We were both traveling at the time, and she was out of touch with everyone, and when she saw the video, it really touched her heart. So I think seeing someone in video is the next best thing when you can't see someone in the flesh face to face.
Indeed. That takes us through my basic discussion questions pretty quick. Emily, is there anything else that maybe sparked an idea for you, or maybe an extra super secret tip that you haven't had a chance to share yet?
I just say always just think about who your mom is. That's my first tip, and that's probably what I still have to remember this upcoming Sunday, is just remember who your mom is. Just remember, no matter what, she's going to love what you get her, but just keep her hobbies and what her interests are in mind. I think that a lot of people try to have these extravagant ideas or plans, and at the end of the day, it's really about mom and spending quality time with her. So if nothing works out, just in the end of the day, just remember, like, you just need to be with her, and I think that it'll be the best Mother's Day for her.
Fantastic. Emily and all of your team at Uncommon Goods, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing a few tips and tricks and frugal ideas for Mother's Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Have a great afternoon, everyone.
You too.